They say the dead should be left to rest. But what if the dead refuse to rest? What if they still have something to say? What if they are not at peace? Because someone betrayed them. My name is Chinyonso Okafor. I live in Umuosu, a quiet village in Abia State. And in 2 weeks, I was supposed to be getting married. I've always dreamed of my wedding. Coral beads, white lace blouse with a fine George wrapper, traditional drums, dancers, joy. And Obina, my fiancé, was everything I prayed for. Gentle, God-fearing, handsome, and kind. Also, I thought, until Adaora, my older sister who died 3 years ago, came back, not in dreams, not in memories, but in blood and in anger. Adaora died on her wedding day. No one knew what happened. One moment she was laughing. The next she collapsed, holding her stomach. They said it was a heart attack. But Adaora was only 27. She was strong, healthy, beautiful, and she was in love. We buried her in her white wedding gown, her eyes closed, her lips still stained with red lipstick. As we laid her to rest, I whispered, if love could wake the dead, we'd be dancing now. Now I wish I never said those words, because something has woken up and she is not dancing. It started the night Obina proposed. He took me to the stream where we used to play as children. The sun was setting, the birds were singing. He went on one knee and said, Nonso, my light, will you marry me? I smiled, I cried, I said yes. But that night I felt something strange, as if someone else was there, watching us. Obina touched my face. Are you cold? I forced a smile, just tired. We walked back to the house in silence. I brushed it off as stress. But at 2:17 a.m., I woke up gasping. My chest was heavy. The room was cold, ice cold. Obina was sleeping beside me, peacefully. Then I felt it. Something touched my cheek. Then a hot slap across my face. I jumped up. Adaura, I whispered. I didn't know why I said her name, but something inside me that knew. I looked at the mirror. It had cracked, not broken, just a single sharp crack right down the center. Then I saw her. She stood in front of the mirror, barefoot, pale, lips blue, eyes black and weeping. Her wedding gown was torn and soaked in blood at the stomach. Adaura, I whispered again. She didn't speak. She raised her hand and pointed at the ring on my finger. Then she moved her lips. One word, betrayal. Then she disappeared. I screamed. Obina jumped up. What happened? What is it? I pointed at the mirror. She was there, my sister, Adaora. She slapped me. The mirror. Look. He looked. The crack was gone. He rubbed his eyes. Nonso, you're stressed. This wedding planning. Don't you say that? I snapped. I'm not mad. I know what I saw. Then he looked at my cheek. There was a red mark. A slap. He reached out, but I pulled away. I need fresh air, I said, rushing out. I sat on the couch shaking. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Ask your fiancé what he did to Adaora before it's too late. My hands went cold. I dropped the phone. Nonso, Obina stood by the door. I stared at him, at the man I loved, and for the first time I asked myself, what do you know, Obina? What happened to my sister, and why has her name never crossed your lips? The next day I went to Mama. Mama, did Adaora ever tell you something strange before she died? Mama sighed. She was happy, nervous maybe, but in love. With who? Obina's cousin, Ekene. Why? I froze. Ekene. Yes, but he disappeared after the funeral. No one knows where he went. They were close until the night before the wedding. Later, that night I visited the village shrine. I had no other choice. The priestess looked into our cowries and said, Adaora's soul is not at rest. She was betrayed by someone close. She wants truth. She wants justice. I wept. How do I give up peace? She whispered. The one who loved her hurt her most. I waited for Obina at the compound. Tell me the truth, I said. What happened to Adaora? He looked shaken. What do you mean? You knew her. Don't lie. You were with her before me. He looked away. It was a long time ago. We had a thing before she met Ekene. You betrayed her, I whispered. It was just a mistake. What did you do, Obina? He fell to his knees. She was pregnant. It was mine. I begged her to keep it secret, but she told Ekene the night before the wedding. I stepped back, horrified. She said she'd tell Mama and Papa. I panicked. I gave her something to calm her nerves that morning. What did you give her? Just herbs, I swear, from an old woman in the next village. I screamed. You poisoned her. It wasn't supposed to kill her. I just wanted her to forget. I was afraid. My family. Shut up. At that moment, the sky darkened. Thunder roared. The mirror inside the house shattered completely. Adaora appeared, full form, blood dripping, eyes like fire. She raised her hand toward Obina. No, Adaora, please, I cried, but it was too late. Obina's body stiffened. His nose bled. He screamed and collapsed, dead. The wind stopped. Adaora turned to me. Her eyes softened. She smiled for the first time in 3 years. Then she faded. 1 month later, the wedding was cancelled. Obina was buried in silence. I visited Adaora's grave. I placed white lilies and whispered, I know now, I'm sorry. Rest well, Adaora. Then a gentle breeze swept across my face, warm, peaceful. For the first time, she was gone, for good, or so I believed, until that night, when my mirror cracked again, and this time it wasn't Adaora standing there, it was someone else, someone I'd never met before, and she was holding a baby.